Yang for the glass of water, for passing the glass to me. I was doing some math, looking back to some old photos. It's been 10 years since we've known each other. I can only imagine what the next decade would be like. Thank you so much for inspiring me to be a water professional. So you kind of gave me here a task. So I have 3 points to go through with you, but I'm actually looking very much forward. And thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode, this short clip of water and my idea of it. The first thing that we're going to touch upon is the statistic, what I would like you to know about water. Well, it's actually not just one statistics. It's a combination of two. Risk experts warn of a potential global crisis in the next few years. And this thing is triggered by a double threat. In my perspective, extreme weather and misinformation, disinformation. Let's look at them separately. Imagine floods, droughts, becoming more and more common. Just think of Rio Grande, for example, where my friend Fernando from Brazil is from. They recently experienced a record rainfall, causing massive damage and displacing so many people. There are billions in cost in infrastructure, but also millions of citizens displaced. The cost of inaction comes with a human cost, and we need to take responsible action in acknowledging that. On the other hand, you have this constant flow of confusing information. So the other day I found an article online claiming that alkaline water cures diseases like cancer. What? This is crazy. Actually, it's scary, right? How will we be able to gather this understanding about water if even science is at risk of being miscommunicated? I hope that by understanding these two dimensions, we are able to prepare better for the need of raising awareness to the general public. Let's move to point number 2. How I would like the world to see water. Well, what is important to me is simple. I need people to see water differently, holistically. Actually, let me make it clear. I want everyone to see water. According to the Finding Water podcast, I want to make water visible to all. And that's why I decided to create this podcast, right? Where I'm not talking with a water expert to another water person, but actually gathering a water expert with someone who knows nothing about water, having a conversation about it. Sometimes it's even one of my friends, which, trust me, it doubles down on the phone. These conversations end up being eye-opening. For instance, one episode focused on PFAS, the forever chemical, and my friend Susanna was worried after seeing so many news and reports on the effects of PFAS on health. I talked to her about it. She seemed super interested on the topic, so I brought her together with a water researcher on PFAS. And after that conversation, 40 minutes conversation, she was able to understand that there's a complexity to the science and research. And it takes time to build the accurate results and therefore use them to promote responsible action. That calmed her down, and that was super important to me. Another episode featured Grace Beller, and Grace is inspiring. The first minute I talked to her, I knew it. So she's a teacher from the US who took action after learning about water scarcity and how it was affecting her migrant students. Because of that, she went to study and became an expert in water sanitation and documented solutions implemented in favelas in Brazil to replicate those solutions across more favelas for sanitation. this story just inspired me to act. So moving to my last point. How do I have hope? What gives me hope to create a water resilient future? So sometimes and some days and some moments are challenging. I know that climate change is real, and I know that climate change breeds water. Its consequences really translate into the power of water. So droughts and floods, they will become the new normal. But there's hope. When I see local mayors and schools and communities gathering around water, I realize that it's possible to do it. It's tangible action that promotes the advancement of resilience. The technology exists to address the water challenges. What is missing is responsible political action to implement it and regulation to support it. So whenever I see the governments prioritizing their people's water resilience or water security, that is what gives me immense hope. Let's close the video here, close the conversation. Water is definitely a conversation that we all need to have. So my request or my question to you is, have you talked about water with anyone today? Have you talked about water today? I mean, anyone. It can be anyone. It can be a friend, someone you know. It can be someone you don't know, a barista, or your doctor. By sharing our knowledge and experiences, we can create a water resilient future. So to continue this conversation, I would like to pass the glass to Paul O'Callaghan. He is another water researcher who shares my passion for making water visible to all. Have you heard about the movie Our Blue World? This one is for you, Paul. Let me get you a glass of water, because water is meant to be shared. Paul, the floor is yours.